Last time on the Tales from Tenrei. The helping hands, having successfully exfiltrated the capital palace, returned to the refugee encampment. There, the acting captain of the royal guard, Jezreel, requests their help in retaking the palace from occupying forces of the Vortex Viper. Though she has no coin to offer, the party agrees with the caveat that they have the rights to any items the Vipers have. Utilizing subterfuge and outstanding tactics, they defeat the pirates and their captain, Aster. The pirates turned out to have been abandoned by the main forces and had no treasure to speak of. However, the helping hands were able to retrieve a map that charts the dangerous astral waters of the lawless tumult to my turn. Lynx, utilizing a memento from their sordid past, decoded the map. Jezreel, after sweeping the palace for any stragglers captured in her arcane tattoo artist, who, in exchange for his life, performed his craft on several of our protagonists. We rejoin the party as their tattoos heal. How will our protagonists proceed from here? What challenges await them along their path forward? Find out on today's exciting episode of The Tale from Tenrei.
So Lynx didn't actually get a tattoo because they're just generally distrustful and did not want to have any kind of arcane marks on their body that someone else made. Could I try to convince him to give Furiosa mine? And I'm going to be a little intimidation-y about it.
Sure, roll intimidation then. I will say, it's a possibility that's on the board. Don't mess it up.
First roll of the game. Let's see. Goddamn.
Looks like you messed it up. Do you have anything?
Do you have an inspiration?
I do, but do I want to alert?
You don't.
No, I actually don't.
Oh no. I'm seeing if there's anything to
I'll let you use an inspiration on that one, even though you don't have one. Roll it again. I'm gonna say that this is Furiosa assisting, so it gives you advantage. So just. I shouldn't have done that because that's a nat 20. All right.
Yeah.
All right, you get it for free then.
No take back.
Nice.
You God, you're the
so
best.
Let's talk about what tattoos are remaining that you could get.
Okay.
Your options are a stack of 3 books, 2 broken blades, 3 candles, the censer, 3 feathers, needle and thread, 2 petal wilted roses.
By the censer, you mean like that incense?
Yeah, the incense thing. 3 hearts, 2 barbed vines, 2 crossed arrows, and a smirking face. Those are the ones that remain.
Crossed arrows and a smirking face. I will have 3 hearts.
3 hearts.
3 hearts, because they'll be cute. I hope.
Okay.
They can be totally creepy too if he wants them to be. Like, I want it to be whatever he wants it to be.
A beautiful drawn tattoo of 3 hearts. The details are exquisite, as is the shading and color. Truly, the work of a master artist. The tattoo was done with an arcane needle in the hands of a master artist. The ink is infused with powerful enchantment that allows one bearing the tattoo to draw upon the magical energies within to cast the spell. If attuned, you may cast the Spare the Dying spell 3 times. Each time the spell is cast, one of the hearts breaks. Once the spell has been cast 3 times, all the hearts are broken, and the tattoo requires 24 hours to recharge before it can be used again. If the tattoo is not attuned, the details of the tattoo fade, and the colors take on a dull tone, preventing the wielder or the wearer from drawing upon its power until it has been attuned again.
Wow. That's amazing.
Damn. Yeah, that's really good.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Thank you so much. You know, I feel like it's my birthday or something. Wow.
Furiosa, go ahead and I'm deleting the star tattoo. Make a note that you've got a tattoo of 3 stars on you somewhere, and they look really pretty, but they don't do anything.
Okay.
And now you have 3 hearts. Attune. Oh, sorry, don't attune, just equip. There we go.
Lynx nod gruffly, and their demeanor is slightly more positive towards this old man.
The old
Who has
man,
done nothing but favors for us, but all the same.
the old man says, "It's a pleasure to work my craft. It's a shame that I'm not a more skilled engraver, or perhaps I might have been able to help you." He's sort of like, you don't know if it's his pride or if this is just like polite handling of your behavior that he's sort of like, oh darn, I couldn't do it because I just don't have the skills and not because you terrify me.
I like refused it out front at the very beginning, so but
Yeah.
we can both keep our egos, whole now.
Sounds good. I would like everybody to roll either a survival check, an athletics check, or if you have it, a tinker's tool / woodworking check. Those are your 4 options.
Okay, so athletics or
Survival, athletics, or if you
Okay.
have either tinker or woodworking tools.
okay.
Too bad I don't have any more of those inspirations.
Oh.
Can I take a short rest?
Hang on.
You could have been resting while we were like getting tattoos.
It's fine. It's a group check, and more than half of you succeeded. So here is what you get. You comb through the ship that's crashed here. Unfortunately, the ship itself is in decently bad condition. It's still like star-worthy, for lack of seaworthy, but for the stars. However, the helm is not gonna be able to keep it together like long enough to get it back to the celestial waters. So that's not an option. However, you are able to salvage the standards and is it the figurehead, the masthead? I think it's just the figurehead of the ship, which is a winged winged. Is that what the fans on the cobra neck are? The winged cobra sticking out thing. So that's what you have. Is you have their standards, including like the sail flag, and the sweet flame decals. Just kidding. As well as the masthead of the Viper thing. You needn't write it down. You can if you want, but you don't need to.
I write down everything.
Other than that, you guys spend the rest of this day assisting the refugees relocating back to the palace, making sure the palace is like cleared out of any loot that you might potentially want. I will say that just one person, whoever has the best one, give me an investigation check. You can make it with advantage so that we don't all have to roll.
Nodded. Yeah, do you have it? Do you have a high investigation?
I have, mine's okay. Oh, god damn it, but my dice, I need to put them in dice jail, digital dice jail.
Oh, no.
Well, you find 270 gold in your sweep, which you're like, we don't.
Hey, but
Nope,
I got 21.
I'm sorry, it's too late. We went with the first 2. I'm so sorry.
Okay, fine.
Fuck you all, I'm sorry.
270 gold, and I will say, nothing else that you are feeling so selfish that you would take. Like, it's food and stuff that you're like, nah, these people probably need it. We're mercenaries, but we're not that mercenary. We are helping hands, not
Helping hands,
stealing
not the hungry
hands.
hands.
Not helping ourselves, hands.
Exactly. Plus, you didn't share any of the supplies that you have on your ship with these people, so it's sort of.
We dividing 270 by 5?
Divide it by 4.
Okay. My calculator history is more embarrassing than my search history.
70.
Like, yeah,
Everybody gained 70. I guess I'll add that to Tycho.
Lynx, I wanted to give you my 70 for helping me out.
I take it.
Yeah, there you go.
Lynx takes it.
I love when I see, I knew you would. Like, I love when people are like, yes. Because I'm like, let me do
Well,
this. Let me do
if
this.
it was Echo, I'd probably be a little more like, no, it's fine.
Let me
But
do it.
Lynx has no qualms.
Yeah. I gotta play the character to the character.
And with that, let us say that you guys will at least be on this celestial skip.
Would we be long resting so that we could like
Yes.
attune to our stuff?
Yes.
Yes.
Should we want to do
Nap
such a thing?
Everybody may long rest. You returned. Well, I mean, I suppose you could spend the night at the palace if you prefer. The quarters on the skip, while familiar to you, are not the most luxurious, so.
Yeah, but those people were not cleaning the fucking bathrooms. Like, you just know they weren't. You know they were not cleaning the bathrooms.
I don't,
While
because
they were
I
staying there.
don't ever actually think about the bathrooms.
So they clearly weren't clean then.
I'm just thinking about the nature of this place after pirates have taken it over.
It's funny because when I'm planning this stuff, I will think about, like, especially in the other game, in the Wasteland, I'll think about, like, okay, how do we deal with, like how do people handle having their period? And when I'm making maps, I'm like, where should the bathrooms and showers go and everything like that. But when we're in the world, I'm like, yeah, people don't, like, use the bathroom at all. That's not real.
It's like, I just use magic to offload that. You know what? It just goes right into the ground.
Exactly.
It just goes out of me and into the ground.
I never have to pee because I know create and destroy water.
That's why their emergency matter transports are so rare. It's because everybody just uses them to pee.
I absolutely hate what you have said.
I just like to think that it's, purified food and
I mean,
water.
that's like standard protocol.
Just breaks every time.
Standard protocol on the skip. If you got to go off the side.
You hang your butt over the side like the little animal did in God at the Smithsonian Zoo. This little wallaby looking thing. It was so adorable.
Imagine as you're like traversing these ethereal waters, it's just like you get the view of like from 2001: A Space Odyssey, just as you're taking a poop.
No, I don't like it. It's okay. There's a lot of creatures that live out in these waters that will eat that stuff. Like filter feeders, and there's a whole ecosystem.
I'm sure that there's some, people that just, they have the little tube system sort of like worked up through them, like in Dune.
Gross.
Never been happier to be a Warforged.
There's also, larger ships that have these facilities. Anyway, we're getting bogged down in the weeds. So you have taken your long rest. What will you do on this next day?
What?
Sharing with Briarfoot and Hall, with the captain and Cyric, that you have a map there. Briarfoot rolls an insight check real quick, actually. Charming. Well, he has no additional things to offer comment-wise. So, yes, you've informed them that you have a map into the tumult. Well,
tumult chart to V-turn?
Yes, V-turn. You could say V-turn. I don't know what your accent is like. V-turn. Is there anything else you want to do on Olorix, or are you guys setting sail?
I'm down to set sail.
Set sail.
All right. You say your goodbyes. Tycho praises Jezreel's blade one last time before bidding a tearful farewell to the blade that honestly he doesn't need, but it is cool. And you guys, as you get near the outer atmosphere, you engage your cloak. Somebody expend a level 1 spell slot for me, please.
I'll do it.
Okay. You engage your cloaking mechanism, and you are unseen by the... At this point, there's like 2 of the maybe 8 that were there when you first came here. There's only 2 ships left from the raiding party, and they're not particularly high alert. They seem more loitering than anything else. So you're not worried that they're gonna like come down and raid again or anything like that. And trivial to maneuver around with your upgraded ship. Let's go to the map. Where?
Never mind.
Go ahead.
Oh, when we upgrade the ship, do we make sure that like on the outside that it doesn't appear too flashy though, so that people are less likely to
So the stealth upgrade was one specifically to the spell jamming helm. That's why you spend energy into it and then it cloaks the ship in that. The ship doesn't look visibly different really than it did before the upgrade. The only like visible differences were some patching and reinforcing that Lahan did when she was working on it.
Okay.
So, where are we setting course to? Cyric says, oh golly, let me see if I can remember his voice. As far as I can remember, the Serendal is still heavily blockaded by the the pirate lords and syndicate raiders. It would be ill-advised to fly through that airspace. Although if we have to, I suppose that we have to. My concern, and Voraviel, sorry. I would like for you to roll me just a d20 plus intelligence plus your proficiency. Okay. Here's the down low. Voraviel, having spent a fair amount of time wandering the stars in a personal craft of his own procuring, you are very familiar with what a ship is capable of handling as far as a battering goes. Not necessarily in combat, but navigating astral shoals, dangerous areas where like there's nests of space worms. You do not think, you're reasonably certain, beyond most of the doubt shadows, you've crossed that threshold, that the skip itself will probably not survive or will not get through unharmed, even with this chart, a trip through the lawless tumult. Even in the calmest of those waters, they are still very choppy, and not being in the maelstrom just would mean that you're not guaranteed to get the ship destroyed. However, you do think that it would be possible as it is now. It would just be ill-advised. And as you are having that discussion, I go, dang it, because this would have been a lot funnier if Kunal was here. Unfortunately, he's not. A little hole appears in the fabric of reality, and a vacuum tube rockets out of it and impacts, we'll say in the chest, impacts Shalim right in the chest. And he, wind knocked out of him. He sort of falls on his butt. And I will say the person who is closest to him that's going to be Korok. So you're the one who notices it, Korok, that this tube is one of those arcane message sendy things like you guys had used to send a message to Gideon. And you see that it is addressed towards the Helping Hands Away party.
We must read it at once. First, I check on Conell, make sure he's okay.
I'm fine. No need to fuss over me. It's a mere inconvenience. Trying to regain his breath.
Breath and dignity.
Give me
Let's
that.
read that message.
He snatches it out of your hand and he opens up the thing inside and then is coated in glitter. And a spell of, I believe it's the magic mouth spell goes off with Gideon saying, I got you back then, didn't I? And Kunal starts to say something, and the rest of the message plays where, I can't hear you. It's a recorded message, you idiot. Shalim sort of sighs and, without opening his eyes, hands you the letter, Korak, because he's 100% over what just happened. The message says, in short, that there has been a lot of work piling up. There have been several notable inquiries about, let's see, an inquiry. Why can't I say that word? There have been questions about Tycho, Lynx, and Furiosa. Yeah. There's been news from 841 as well as Icinia. And Gideon has turned up some information, not much, but some information about the cult. Something that you guys had tasked him with when you first left, to look into that a little more. And most urgently, your employer for this overarching job that you're on, Renee Acosta, has requested that you guys return to Tenrei as soon as you are able. Gideon's message essentially conveying, given the information that you had sent him last time, that he knows that you're probably in the middle of something and it won't be immediate, especially given the distance, but he would prefer if you guys came back to base, which, out of game, I would very much prefer that you as a party decide to do this, since the loss of Shalim has messed some things up, and we're going to need to go back to base in order to get the plot back on track.
I like that as well, because maybe we can see about reinforcing our ship.
I think that like what might also make sense is that by the time that we've received this message, we're kind of feeling maybe a little like we really need to regroup in some place we're safe, where we know people like that. Hey, I think we need to not just run off into the next thing.
Somebody roll for me a D10 real quick.
Are cursed. Someone else do it.
I'll do it. Oh shit. I hope that's a good. I hope a 2 is good.
I want all of you to roll a survival check. All right, so that's Lynx. Lynx.
What?
You must choose 3 items from your inventory to lose.
No, all of my Nuka-Cola, my Ora-Cola.
Can you even drink Ora-Cola?
Yeah.
I'll give you some.
I hope so, because I've been doing it this whole game.
If you could take a potion, you can take an Ora-Cola. That's fine. If you can dodge a wrench, then you can dodge a ball. They're not radioactive. That's propaganda from the Bottoms Up company. Misinformation spread to slander the good name. Right, so did you choose 3 items to get rid of?
Choose them, but I can. We can move on while I'm doing that.
So what happened was, as you guys were traveling, when you crossed the that's weird, the threshold from, why is that doing that? When you cross the threshold from Durkenheim space to free space at large, you encounter not like a pirate ship so much as one of those, I mean, I guess technically it would be a pirate ship, not like a proper pirate ship, but like a freelance pirate. You are able to fend it off, outrun it, whatnot, fairly easily. However, unfortunately, Lynx was on one of the 2 weapons, and being an area that is the most exposed, was injured, but able to rest it off due to the long travel time. During that injury, though, some of those items were tossed overboard and lost forever. Whatever
have been tossed.
Whatever what were they? Just curiosity.
It was an oil, a torch, and a bell.
Playing it absolutely as safe as you can. Love that. So, on the 11th of Ent, which, oh god, I have too many fantasy calendar systems that I have to keep in mind. What the fuck did I name Ent after?
Is it INT or ENT?
ENT.
Yeah.
ENT. Okay.
Like the trees from Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
Marijuana enthusiasts.
Oh, so many characters in Lord of the Rings are marijuana enthusiasts. Ent,
but they're also known as Ents.
The 7th month.
IRL.
Yes, the 7th month of the year. There are, just in case you didn't read the primer way back when or forgot, there are 12 months in the galactic standard calendar, essentially. Each has 30 days. Each day has 24 hours. Everything is very standardized. Even though, like, spheres will have their own day-night cycle and time, it's easiest for spacefaring societies to keep track of things with that standardized calendar. So, the 11th of the 7th month, you guys left here about... Golly, I guess it's been about 6 months ago. You've been gone for a whole half a year.
Damn.
I want to sleep in my own bed. I mean, not sleep, but,
pull into the comfortable confines of your home. While your journey and trials are not over, this is a nice respite from them. Braviel, who has never been here before, is met completely gobsmacked by the sheer amount of diversity of life in this place. While you had spent a good deal of time in Jetsam, which is a similar concept to Tenrei, Tenrei is really, it's the true melting pot. A lot of these races, I mean, you're not well-traveled in the charted, you haven't met every type of thing, but there are like a good number of types of races that you're like, wow, that's a weird configuration of biology, never would have thought to do that. Giant large-eyed spheres with smaller eyes coming off of it, things that look like maybe they were dragons at some point in their ancestry, all sorts of crazy stuff. One guy looks like he's just a bunch of skin stitched together to make a balloon. Absolutely disgusting. Fascinating for you.
Map. I love this map. I'm finally
jiggle with excitement.
When you guys entered this sphere, specifically you for nope, that was specifically for Faravel. Okay, well, Korok. When you enter this sphere, your whip, which had a fairly confined range of it, but a kind of more like a mood ring almost of like the pervasive feel of this place. The last time that you were here, there was the sickly scent of undeath that permeated the area. That is no longer here. This place does not seem to be harboring any sort of cult present anymore.
Excellent.
Yeah, it puts you
What's
at
the
ease.
vibe it's giving off now? Is it just the peace?
A little hustle, some bustle. But yeah.
Big city stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like peace is not the best way to describe it, but
No.
non-aggression, yeah.
Good.
Faraviel, when you enter the crystal sphere, your polyhedron goes banana nutso. I believe we described it as, well, I think specifically you described it as it singing to you. So the melody that it does as its sort of interaction with your quote unquote mind, your consciousness, and whatever's going on inside of it is a song of longing and almost like a song that, giving the feeling of pining for something that is just out of reach, as though someone that you loved long, long ago is in the same town as you, but you'll never know where. It's beautiful, but also leaves you a little morose as you guys pull in to the docking area where the skip sidles up. Briarfoot says that while we are here, perhaps we should discuss something. I like all of you. I have to say that. Do not for a moment believe that I do not enjoy your company. You have been a wonderful patrons. We have been on some great adventures together. However, it is with a heavy heart that I must say my farewells for now. The sort of hijinks that we have gotten up to are a bit much for my aging heart. You must understand, he can't be like any older than maybe like 29 in human equivalent years. So, but I wish to return to my one true profession of hauling totally legal cargo to places where it is definitely meant to be. However, you do have my contact information. If you have need of my services again and I happen to be in the area, absolutely look me up. But if I must be honest, I have no interest in going into the sort of dangerous territory that you were fully prepared to take me into. I wish you well on your journeys. If you need a reference for anything, feel free to contact me. And he...
Is this the hippo guy?
No. This is...
No, this is Briarfoot. This is the ship.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The captain of the skip. When you guys offload onto the dock, we get all your supplies and everything. Briarfoot gives you each...
I'm gonna miss Briarfoot.
We'll say 150 gold each as repayment for your contributions towards upgrading his ship.
Oh, thank you.
It is not much, but it's all I can do. I deeply appreciate. You have made my job a lot easier, even though I will not be able to utilize this feature as I am not a spellcaster. I am not departing immediately. I should be in town for perhaps a week or so. So this is more than likely not our final goodbyes.
Well, if we can find any spellcasters who might, want to join you on your trip.
I will certainly be shopping for one in town. But for now, I will bid you adieu. I need to check in with the dockmaster, and I'm sure that you have things that you need to do. Cyric says, yes, well, as long as we are here, I should probably report to Acosta now that I know that she's in this area. While not my direct superior, it would behoove me to contact someone in the same branch of military intelligence as I am. I understand that you have business with her as well, correct? I don't know how to ask this. Would it be possible if I lodge with you for a while? I don't want to see her immediately. I need to prepare a debriefing, and I could honestly use a softer bed than that which was available in the hold of the skip.
We have showers too.
Oh my god, that's... You don't know how long it's been.
I have an idea.
I've been wiping myself down with wet naps. Camp showering. I don't know prestidigitation, so that's all I've got.
My apologies. We'll set you up immediately.
Okay, so is the plan to return to your offices?
Yes.
You guys head to the offices. Returning to the Helping Hands freelance office, Gideon is right there when you enter the door, which startles him a little bit because A, he didn't know you guys would be here, and B, he thought that the door was locked, which it was. You guys have a key. So he immediately assumes that you're customers. When he turns around to see that it's you guys, he sort of crosses his arms and gives you the smirk. What sort of time do you call this then?
No time like the present time.
You'll have to introduce me to your friend there. And he nods towards Voraviel. We don't get a lot of whatever the hell you are around here. Hiring more employees without my approval, are you?
Oh, nothing's finalized until you say it is, of course.
I'm just kidding. We're partners in this.
So, Raviel, meet Gideon.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Gideon Sullivan, co-owner and purveyor of this here establishment.
Raviel, slime and ooze.
He before your hands meet, when you say slime, he withdraws his a little bit and he's, well, it's a pleasure.
Likewise.
Shalim essentially says that he needs to tend to his business. He's been away for long enough for the profits that are awaiting him to be considerable. He also reminds you all that he is not actually part of this company, despite how you constantly treat him as if he is, and excuses himself from the rest of this debacle, at least for the time being. He has more important things to do and some very interesting avenues to explore with the secrets and information that he has gathered during your journey. Gideon is doing some paperwork for Voraviel and setting up a locker for him in the sleeping quarter area. Sadly, with the loss of yet another member in the departure of Icinia, clears out her locker, which was completely empty, and changes the nameplate on it to say Voraviel, which he almost spells your name correctly.
Woohoo!
Cyric excuses himself to the shower. From the shower, you hear Cyric, we need to get some leads on a ship anyway if we need to, something that will be hardier to take us into the tumult in the first place, and that is something that Acosta might be able to help us with.
Excellent.
And then he goes back to whistling.
Idea.
You have mail and stuff.
Before
Maybe
the
we can
mail?
do shopping.
Yeah, we need to go sell items and buy stuff.
So let's go shopping. All right, go crazy. Do your
I can click
shopping.
right on it. Neat. Oh, there's a lot of spell scrolls in there. A few of them in here. Oh, hourglass. Sprig of mistletoe. There's an orb
Go.
as a spell casting focus. That's pretty cool.
Ooh, arcane focus.
I love there's so many different ones to choose
Yeah,
from.
I like this.
I'm glad. Unfortunately, it's not a thing that I can grab footage of.
Oh,
so
really?
Our viewers at
Oh,
home
that's right.
can't tell how fun this is for you, but
Oh.
rest assured,
We're having
dear
a great
viewer,
time, guys.
this is very fun.
Oh no, there's a lot of I don't know, just cool different options in here. I like the different I like I got the sprig of mistletoe, but I like the different things you put in there that can be used as spell focuses. Also, just the icons you have are pretty as well.
Thanks.
I like them. Yeah,
They're very
fancy.
I usually anything that has to do with Foundry stuff, I talk about how to use Foundry. I just edit it out of the videos because I don't think anyone cares. And I know you all don't rewatch these videos, so you don't need that information. Glare.
I did.
Okay, everyone except
I
for
should.
Andy.
One inspiration for you.
Yeah.
While you all are wheeling and dealing, and you having never been to this place before, wow, look at all the things and the people. The polyhedron, I feel like we had come up with a shorter name for it, but the polyhedron, its song grows, sort of swells and diminishes, and after a while you realize, oh, we're doing a hot and cold thing. Sort of follow that, and you don't travel too far away from your compatriots, because I don't know if you have a gossip stone yet. Do you?
I do. I think I'm wearing it. Yeah.
All right, well, never mind. You can travel out on your own if you prefer.
Sweet.
From where you are in this market, it seems to be pointing to the northeast direction.
I want to go to there.
All right, and you rolled a 14, so yeah, that's fine. Do you want any of your companions to come with you, or are you just being like, I must do this on my own?
I think I should kind of let them know since everyone was kind of interested in it. So I'll flag everybody and let them know it's singing.
Everybody is flagged. The whole party then, I'm going to assume, well, the four of you who are shopping, Tycho is very busy. Actually, you know what? I have a thing for this. Apparently, you guys didn't know this, but Tycho was apparently a part of some like weird lodge thing. You know how there's like veterans or Masonic lodges where people who are part of a club of that nature will be able to just go and freely hang out there?
Mhm.
Well, apparently, Tycho is a member of something known as the Pompous Adventurers Club, which you don't really know anything about it outside of that, but he has some business with them. They had been asking about him while you guys were gone, so Tycho is off doing that. So that actually kind of ties itself up fairly nicely, assuming that he eventually joins us for this session. So, as you are following Foraviel, who is moving with purpose once you guys get into the thick of the houses here, you follow him. Eventually, as you're winding through, it leads you over to a back alley in this area where your polyhedron is signaling it's here. It's somewhere near. It's like you're right on top of it.
Should I roll an investigation check?
Sure.
Woo! Because I want to search around the area.
Yeah. That's fair.
Oops.
Whip. Unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately, no. There, you see, like, this is just a back alley. It's also, you know how those like kind of open alleyways, not open. They have the narrower alleyways that sort of open into boxy areas where people just inevitably pile up trash and shit like that. That's the sort of situation going on here. The houses in this area are not slums by any mean, but they're middle of the middle class at most. Foraviel sort of scours around in a frenzy at a certain level of frustration, goes into a frenzy, pseudopods shooting off, groping around the area, but finding nothing. You guys watch this very interesting sight for a bit before you...
Do you need some help?
Yes.
Or what are you looking for?
The polyhedron is responding to something in the area, and I cannot find it.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. It's like a. So it's like a sense that it's getting maybe.
A song.
Oh, okay. Hey, does anybody?
How long investigate?
Yeah, I don't. So, like, you can hear the song, obviously. Is there any
the
way you can
song
transmit
here
it
in
to
the
us?
room with us now?
Yes, is it in the room?
Should I take the polyhedron out, I guess? Because I think it reacted last time.
What I will have, if you're trying to get this to do with Furiosa, what I will have Furiosa do is make a wisdom. I feel like a check is more appropriate than a save. So make a wisdom check.
Okay.
Oh, you hear it. You hear the cosmos. You hear this straight. Calling it a song, since you haven't lived with this sensation, calling it a song is an interesting way that it has been described to you. Because to you, what you're feeling is more of the emotional and sensory experience you get when you're, lying on the deck of a ship amongst the stars, enjoying the moon jellies, lunar whales, space worms, and all of the various forms of life. That sort of calmness that you get when you're in a non-dangerous appreciation of the beauty of the natural world. What you're feeling for it right now, though, is that sort of feeling where nothing is wrong yet, but you can tell that the animals are on edge or beginning to move in a direction as though there is some sort of prey or easy food that is around for them to predate upon, for them to feast upon. But you definitely understand what Voraviel is talking about with the it being sort of directing to somewhere, and you're feeling it. You're feeling that direction. So if you would like to make an investigation roll, now you can.
That's a roll.
All right. So as you are looking around, you don't really find anything at first. However, after about 10, maybe 15 minutes of this, a robed figure steps out from you don't know where at first, and then it becomes apparent that sort of like tucked away behind a corner that you hadn't noticed, there's some sort of building or something that stares down to a building, and an individual that looks like this mysterious stranger appears.
Oh.
And you can't really see the expression on their face. They're berobed, behooded, but you can tell by their head movements that they sort of incredulously appreciate the situation going on. And may I help? And before they finish their speech, they lock eyes on Voraviel and straighten up a bit, this bringing their face into more visible light. And you can see that this person is humanoid, fleshy, but their skin has almost like a shimmering crystalline look to it, with some sort of barely visible peeking out from behind the hood, etchings or lines or something inset. But judging by their outfit, they've gone to not great, but decent lengths to hide any sort of weirdness, because none of you have ever seen any species or race that matches the description of what you're seeing right now. You observe the stranger in this moment of surprise that they have looking at Voraviel, and then they furrow their brow, look down, and stroke their masked chin for a second and say, come with me right now, and indicates the place where they appeared from.
Okay, I will follow.
Everybody going in?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just sort of like nod to the others, like, in that way of like, I think this is who we're looking for. Or I think this might be what we're looking for.
As you guys are going in, they're looking around to make sure that nobody is looking, and then they close the door behind themselves as they enter as well. And you are led to what looks like some sort of machinery, some sort of arcane feel to some of it, blacksmithy in others, mechanical in some corners. There's a lot to take in around here. And you are offered, come over, and beckons you to this like seating area, and we're going with he. Indeterminate gender, really hard to tell, so we'll just go with he for now. Pulls up a few bottles of what look like maybe wine, maybe tea, you're not sure. Sets them down on the table and sort of gestures, help yourselves. Shit, I forgot his voice. Help yourselves. It's been a while since I had visitors. I'm afraid that I'm not exactly familiar with what you might enjoy drinking, but I'm fairly certain that these liquids are not spoiled or toxic. How did you come to be here? It's been so long since I've seen another member of the Six. Addressing you, Varaviel.
Ah.
But what is the Six?
He looks incredulous for a second. The Six races. Hang on. Are you not part of the convoy? How did you come to be here? You're very far from where at least the last I heard your people are.
I was not with my people for a long time.
Oh dear. And when last you were with them, do you recall what they were seeking? Where were you headed, essentially, is what he's asking.
I can't remember. That's the funniest thing.
It must have something to do with... Well, I see that you've become a courier, and I have to assume that the artifact that you're bearing that seems to be bound to you is what led you here, probably reacting with the fragment. This is very dangerous. No offense intended by this, of course, but you've put all of us in a great deal of danger by coming here. Just the reaction between the two of them, the magical resonance, will be more than enough for any potential malcontents to detect.
Oh, maybe we should make this place more secure. Is there anything we could do? Do you have any security in place?
My security is anonymity. But this is another member of the Six. I can't. But you don't know anything of what happened to my people, do you?
Who are your people exactly?
Yeah, who are your people? You don't seem like us.
No, of course not. If you don't remember your own race, you wouldn't remember anything. We probably don't have much time. Let me see the device.
Varaviel extends a pseudopod and hands the polyhedron off.
He smiles a little bit. Will never grow tired of the morphology of your people. Always such a pleasant sight. He pulls his hood back and his mask down. So yeah, he pulls. Oh, there he is. He pulls his head coverings off, and you see this individual. That is what they look like once that actually uploads.
How cool! Oh, they look like a map.
Much to your surprise, this person is able to handle the polyhedron without it immediately retreating to you, which doesn't seem to surprise this guy. As he's looking at the polyhedron, he says, "Sorry. My name is Calcite. It's a pleasure to meet all of you, I'm sure." And then he starts saying something in a language that none of you have ever heard before, as though he's like stammering out a translation. Let's see here. Not familiar. This is an older dialect here. I believe that. I'm not familiar with this one. Drift, ships, servicing. This text is all jumbled. What happened to this device? No, it doesn't matter. We don't have time for that. Listen, it's very important, especially since you're carrying this strangely modified version of this, and then I want everyone to roll perception real quick.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
That's good.
Oof.
Breville and Furiosa are too engrossed in what's going on with the polyhedron. Lynx and Korok. Lynx first, obviously, because like this is their job. You see for the briefest moment. Actually, Lynx, with your roll, I'll just tell you like the whole deal.
Yeah.
A small tear opens up. At first you think it's in the wall, but it's actually in the air near the wall. A small tear opens up, and before you have a chance to fully comprehend what's happening, something small, fast, and silver jets out of it and into Calcite, who, like, when they're struck by it, they go rigid and then just crumble into crystalline dust. It's just a pile of robes covered in glitter in whatever race this guy is, dust.
Can I investigate the body?
I will ask this as a freebie. Korok, would you like to? Well, whatever. I'll just give it to you guys. One of you keeps eyes on the tear opening, and the other on what's happening with Calcite. The tear closes as quickly as it opened. You don't have a chance to observe what was coming out of it, or even what this projectile was. All that you know is that something opened up from somewhere, did a thing, and now this guy is dead. So you were saying you were investigating the body, the dust?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any larger pieces?
No, it's a fine powder. Anybody who's doing, looking at the thing, investigation.
Wow.
You guys have seen some things in your travels. This is outside of the scope of them. You don't know what's going on here. The dust, this powder, is a very fine powder of almost as though somebody has ground up like quartz into a powder.
Can we collect him? Can we collect this powder?
Sure, if you want.
Oh yeah, good call.
Yeah, I have some stuff I could put it in, just in case.
Sure. Rename. What is it, like a vial or something?
Yeah, probably. I gotta go find it.
Just whatever it is. Just rename it to that thing.
Vial of calcite.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
And then put in parentheses the person, not the mineral.
Okay. All right, let me just. Well, I can find it.
Sure. Okay. You, unable to loot anything from his body, decide to take some of it instead.
Oh yeah, here it is.
The two Lynx and Furiosa, your investigation yields very little on that end. Korok and Voravio, what are you doing? Oh, as soon as this guy had crumbled, the polyhedron had returned back inside of you.
It was my concern. So that's good. I'm just going to start freaking out.
Yeah.
Roll to panic.
Yeah. Let's do... geez, your wisdom's not great. Roll a wisdom save to keep it calm. Yeah, you're able to keep your cool after Korok talks you through it a little bit. Korok's calm, even, deep voice helps ground you. And as you're calming down, long story short, in your flailings and then, needing to sit down and take deep breaths for somebody who doesn't breathe, whatever the ooze version of coming out of a near panic attack is.
Cilia.
Yes, actually, yes. The polyhedron has found what it was reacting with, apparently. There is a small cube, impossibly smooth, unknown material. You're not sure if it's metal, you're not sure if it's synthetic, you don't know what it is. It's crazy smooth. I don't know. Have you guys ever seen like perfectly machined objects or whatever? It's given that look, yeah. And it you're a sorcerer, you're made out of magic. You can feel that there's some strange type of magic, neither arcane nor divine, that is emanating from it. It's not outputting a huge amount of it, but this close to it, you can tell, yeah, this thing's got some kick to it in there somewhere.
I'm gonna grab it.
Okay, all right, sure. You grab it, and because you are made of goo, it is able to easily pass through your... Well, so when you're solid, you have like you're solid enough like a normal humanoid would be, right? Like
Right.
somehow it is able to tear through whatever like the epidermal level of thickness would be for skin. Were you not made of goo, this would be a horrific medical situation.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
It travels through your arm and into the polyhedron. I don't think you have like visual sensory organs as we think of them, so you're able to see what's going on inside of you essentially. The cube impacts the side of the polyhedron, which has everyone can hear this, a almost clockwork like ticking occurring at that moment of impact. Do you guys remember what it looks like? I can't easily find the reference picture.
I hope it's not a bomb.
Yeah, that sounds not good.
One of the faces of it slides open, the cube goes in, and it slides shut, becoming like seamless again. And it begins to tick and thrum, and the song that it sings to you is one of reunion and joy, but hard work is the vibes you're getting from this song that it's singing. And you will notice that the polyhedron has been altered.
Oh, I see V2 somewhere. Hang on.
It has gained... I made the following alterations to the description.
Ooh, defensive rebuke.
Yes. It has gained 3 charges. It has gained 3 charges. Those charges restore every 24 hours. You can use those charges to fuel a spell which you now have in your spell list called Defensive Rebuke, which is really cool. The polyhedron has the ability to target the point of origin of a hostile action against the creature that it is bound to and counterattack. A creature that has damaged you is targeted by a laser beam from the polyhedron. The creature must make a dexterity saving throw. It takes 2d10 laser damage on a failed save or half as much damage on a successful one.
Ooh, sweet. Well, that was that. I thought that was going to be bad, but it's great.
Oh, there's more.
Oh no!
Don't you worry. So
no.
I just need to like cover the mechanics of what happened real quick.
Mm-hmm.
This new transformed, somehow rejiggered version of the polyhedron is now, once it's done like its transformation, is now much more assertive with its connection to you. It's not talking, it's not communicating thoughts, but the song is sort of turning into less of just like a primitive sort of rhythm and vibe of music to a more discernibly like the story of what music sounds like in American version of music. So, you know, you guys are musicians, you know what I'm talking about. It's less vibes, ambient music stuff, and it's now more, this is a song.
More filled out, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a musician, so I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I mean, same. I like music, but, you know, I don't know nothing about it.
But this change is somewhat concerning to you because though you had never thought about it before, the dynamic between you and this object has changed, and in a way that has shifted the scale more in its direction. You don't know how you feel about that, especially since you have no idea what the fuck is going on with this thing.
And the guy that we were going to ask about it just turned into dust.
He sure did.
Hmm.
And now what?
I'm gonna freak out again now. I guess we gotta search this place for any clues.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, let's ransack the shit out of this place and figure out what this guy was talking about.
Sure.
Good call.
Roll me some investigation, I suppose. That seems like the thing to do.
Lord.
How loud? Damn, you guys are really on top of your shit today. /S. Braviel and Korok. So you're looking around this place. This man was experimenting with, it seems like he was exploring a lot of different avenues. Alchemical, mechanical, metallurgical, arcane. There's a lot of different things that are discarded, and you can see in one corner there's a bunch of potion bottles half filled. The distillery for potion brewing never cleaned, obviously stopped being used a while ago. It's got mold and of a faintly magical variety growing in it. The forge is not been kept, but is still active because Magic Forge. The machinery has obviously been the thing that has been used most recently, as it is in the process of doing a thing still. The fuel gauge seems to be full and these gears are well oiled. The racks of scrolls and books are all in a strange language. At least you think it's a language. You have never... Text that looks like that. All of these documents, all these scrolls and books and everything are written in that, and there's no visual indication that is of any use, that is of any help to you to indicate what this documents would even be about, regardless of your inability to read them. With the exception of one. While you don't know what this one book is about, the one thing that lets it stand out from the others is that you do recognize a small section of text in it as worldsmith text. So there's a small excerpt in this one book of language from the worldsmith language. And that is about the only thing really of use here. I mean, unless you really want to strip this place for parts, there's nothing immediately useful.
Can anybody read the worldsmith language?
Nope.
Oh.
Well, let's grab that book at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we can find somebody who can read it.
All right, so that took, all in all of the things that you've done totaled about an hour that you've been in here from start to finish.
We should probably leave.
Mm-hmm.
As you guys creep out, I'm not going to change the light level or anything, but as you creep out, it is getting into the late afternoon. Tenrei's light is artificial, but it is dimming, meaning, I think that's how we had this work. The light is dimming, so it is, we're entering nighttime mode really, but the city never sleeps. We're back from our commercial break. Okay, so you all head back to the Helping Hands offices after having experienced some weird stuff. You're like, man, what a crazy day of shopping. Gideon is like, what has you all shaken? Why are you covered in glitter?
I just pull out the little glass jar. I'm like, well,
once you get it in here, you'll never get it out.
We found a friend, and he immediately became this. This is the friend.
So,
and Varavio has some cool tricks. Some interesting stuff happened with the polyhedron.
Right. Well,
Varavio.
I suppose that's pretty usual for a day. First day back, and already things are back to normal. Fantastic. Well, now that you're back and settled in, I think we need, let me distribute some of this mail, but we should probably head over to Acosta after we look over this stuff that's been sitting here for you. Cyric, who is finally done with the shower, comes out of his bed, refreshed from the shower and the nap, saying, "Yes, well, we should definitely head to Renee when we get a chance, sooner rather than later." And he goes out front to wait. So Gideon hands you, Furiosa.
Yes.
He hands you a small package that looks like it has seen quite a number of things in its journeys. Wow, heckadoodle, where is it? Quite a number of things in its journey. The first thing that you recognize after opening the outer wrapping, there it is a seal of your good friend, Captain Graham. You open, and inside there is a small silver statuette of a raven. It is very intricately carved, very lifelike. There is also a folded note, or a folded piece of paper. A piece of treasure and this chart were in the box that was sent to you. There's a message written on the back of the chart. It says, "There's more where this came from. Come find me." The chart, which you should see the image there, does not match with any celestial waters that you know of. But you do recognize, specifically you, Furiosa, one constellation, the one on the lower left side of the chart. You know that constellation. You've seen it in your childhood from your homeworld.
That's really awesome.
But otherwise, this is a fairly mysterious map and a cryptic message. So that statuette is, in short, able to summon a raven.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm looking at it. A figurine of wondrous power is the statue of base. Yes, well, use that to speak the command. But that is, I love that. I love that. Thank you. If I don't know where he is to mail something to him, I guess I am gonna have to thank him in person. Good thing I have my compass. Maybe that'll
perhaps
point me in the right direction.
Korok, you are informed. Gideon tells you that somebody was in here, someone mysterious, someone cloaked with a strange crest on that cloak. They made no small talk, minced no words. They didn't want to hire us. They weren't mincing words or really looking for a job or anything for us to do. They simply said, they handed me this, and they said that it may be of use to us. The crest that he describes is, you know, that crest from your monster hunting manual, handed down from the Maenad family for generations. It is not the Silent Lord crest. It is a different one. One that your parents bore. The small missive inside of that essentially says that there is a rumor, not a rumor, there's an unconfirmed location of unconfirmed location. How do I want to say this? The note says that there are cultists, and they are based, perhaps like their big base. It has been tracked down, and it can be found on a rogue planet drifting in the astral sea, free of a star or a celestial sphere. It is a mysterious planet known only as Keter. Not much is known about it.
And it doesn't have a sun?
No, it is a planet floating in the void outside of a crystal sphere, even.
Oh.
Truly a terrifying thing. Certainly,
Yes.
asteroids and like Tenrei itself, like stuff does float outside of like a sphere in the celestial waters, but never something as big as a planet. At least, not that you guys know of. That is the strange information that was dropped off here that Gideon felt probably correctly had to do with you, Korok. So I guess I could consider that mail for you.
All right.
The next piece of mail is from 841. It's simply addressed to the office. The envelope of the letter is battered, burnt, and torn, but still intact. The message inside is heavily water damaged. You're unable to read most of what it says, except for a few words here and there. Ruins, worldsmiths, under attack. And then there is a one of many, but only one of them has survived to be legible. A charcoal rubbing of something that you assume was on the ruins wall. Looking at that etching, Boraviel, you don't know why, like no memory associated with it, but that imagery sparks some kind of dread and a mixture of like anger and anxiety at seeing it, as though this represents something that you know is bad, that you've encountered or have heard of in stories or something. Some unknown part of your past is linked with very negative emotions to this thing.
Huh.
I'm trying to figure out if this is a map of ruins or if this is a map of like if those are planets or something.
It is unclear.
Or is it a ring?
Whatever has happened with 841, the last that you knew when they departed, they were headed for Oleon to consult with their teacher/adopted father, Cullius, about matters involving the cult and the artifact. If you
What's that person's
recall,
name?
841, if you recall, was one of our player characters in Departed.
Oh no, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But you said their dad was Cullius?
Cullius, the last that you had heard, they were headed to Oleon to investigate further. Whatever happened between now and then obviously wasn't bad enough so that this couldn't reach you, but was bad enough that this almost didn't reach you.
Burn damage and water damage.
Should have gotten insurance on that package.
Well, glad it got to us.
When you're sending stuff from places that aren't Civ space or don't have magic services, you kind of have to rely on other people being around if you don't take it yourself. So it's a miracle that it got here at all. Somebody must have come to them. There's some way that this letter got off the planet that reasonably should not have had anyone else on it. So, right, the other images you can't see. The other etchings are like ruined, but ruined ruins. One of them, as is the theme for today, has some... most of it is like smudged away, but one of them has a part of a worldsmith word on it. You can at least see that it is made of the worldsmith language letters. Icinia's correspondence was word of mouth. Captain Tuskert had dropped by to let Gideon know that she made it to Serendal, but that was all that he was able to say. Like, she physically made it to the area where she could then get to Serendal, like, in that sphere. Nobody went down with her. There's been no communication to the surface of Serendal because, as the same problem that you guys are running into, it is heavily occupied. But, at least she arrived at her destination alive. Past that, we'll never know.
Or will we?
Let's see. There's a number of potential job offers that have backed up. We can worry about those later. Next time. I think that is your pile of mail. Tycho, yeah, I already covered this. Had business with his club. And I don't know when we rewind time how that's all going to play out, so I won't say when he gets back, but like probably soon, maybe later. I don't know. And yeah, that's it for the pile of mail. So now you guys need to go to Renee. Shall we, Renee?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Cool.
As luck would have it, has been staying at the establishment that Shalim owns, the Winking Weird. For those of you who have not been here before, the Winking Weird is seedy isn't the right word. It is a popular destination with a certain crowd. The majority of the people that come through there are people who are. It's pretty close to the docks. In fact, it is prime real estate as it is the closest bar to the docks. The closest proper bar. Of course, there's like shitty, watered down alcohol motel sort of places. But yes, this is the first proper bar. The reputation that it has is for privacy, which was something that was I added when Shalim took it over, the addition of like magically and physically soundproofed rooms where one might have meetings in secret, innocuous get-togethers, nothing unusual. Certainly nothing that would be of interest to someone like Shalim who collects secrets. When you guys arrive, you hear Shalim talking to Sam. Sounds like he's telling him how to do his job. Maybe reaching the bottom of a list of things that he had compiled upon entering the establishment again. No. This whole place is not kept up as well as it should be, and it looks like you've been giving discounts to customers. It's ridiculous. As soon as you guys walk in, though, it's like his sense. He senses you. And he whips around. Ah, yes, good, you've made it. Your employer is waiting for you in room 1. Shall I have them send you, or shall I have Sam send you food and water, or are you not going to pose on my hospitality this time?
Oh, you know that we'll have whatever your hospitality is willing to share with us. As always.
He
give him a wink.
Yeah, he smirks a smirk that you know what that means, that you're about to get like stale bread and water. Waiting for you in that room is the familiar figure of Renee Acosta, the individual of indeterminate rank in some branch of military government of the Systems Commonwealth of Vunqua. Sirik has handed her his briefing, and she nods. She's got a very annoyed look on her face, though, and pushes the papers to the side. Not like off the table or anything, just a sort of like bureaucratic way of saying, fine, I'll get to this later, and gestures for Lynx to close the door.
Lynx does so.
Welcome back. I understand that you have made some headway, as well as hit a few roadblocks along the way. Tell me of the mission so far.
Would you like the short version or the long version?
Let's start with the short, work our way up the long if we need to.
Well, we've certainly made some leads. Collected, how many pieces was it? Do we have now?
Here.
Yeah, so you guys have 2 and you know the location of 2 others.
Yes, we have 2 and we know the location of 2 others. And we have also made a very interesting friend along the way who I think maybe you would be interested in speaking to.
But
and I just sort of point to Varaviel.
It
Hello.
seems that you've made 2 new associates. As
she indicates to Korok.
And apparently lost a few as well, which is something of a concern that there are individuals out there who are no longer part of a controlled small group of people with information that is highly secret. Would you care to explain that situation?
Yes, well, we certainly cannot detain anybody who insists on staying with us, but we are more than willing to provide you with what details we know of them so that you may, as you desire, ensure that what is meant to be secret is kept secret.
Yes, my confidence in you is overwhelming. What is done is done, and while I am very unhappy with the situation, we have to move forward as best we can. See that it does not happen again, and see that you do not...
And she looks to Korok and Varaviel again.
And expand this circle of knowledge any further. Understood?
Absolutely.
Now, for you, Sirik, sum up in a sentence or 2 exactly why you have abandoned your post and joined up with these individuals.
Sirik explains the I don't know how it's my cover was blown and we're the only available way off. Their goals matched mine.
That is a run-on sentence at best.
He salutes. Sorry, ma'am. Or wait, no, the Funqua salute is this and this.
Furiosa can't help but just the slightest smirk. Just the slightest.
You little rascal. Liking it when your friends get in trouble.
Hey, I already had to take my beat down from her, so come on.
Well, I'm going to have to decide on what to do with your next assignment.
And she considers for a second. You, as players, have the opportunity, if you so wish, you do not need to make an argument that Sirik stay with you. If you feel that he's not necessary in this regard, you don't have to. He will be reassigned.
I do not have any reason to fight for him or against him.
Okay. Anyone else?
So I would, say as much.
Okay.
Bye, Sirik.
I will find something for you to do on this side of the charted until we can find you reassigned more permanent post.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have receipts for your travel expenses? I imagine that now would be an appropriate time to compensate you for what you've accrued thus far.
Yes, of course. I proceed to rifle through my notes in IRL, but, in character.
Just looking through bags. Those little crumpled pieces of paper.
The book.
There's some glitter.
The book that tells you whatever you want it to say and be like, oh, yes, it is so much money. You owe us so much money. See, it's right here in the ledger. I'm not going to try to pull one over her.
Okay. I mean,
I'm not going to try to pull one over on her. No.
It doesn't matter because that's got in Taika's inventory and he's busy with his friends. Joke's on you.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't. Yeah,
I mean, otherwise you can. You just don't have access to those specific items at the moment. But yes, tell me, how much money do you have documented?
I will let you know.
Yeah, we should start writing that down.
Man, I knew, so I cheekily, I don't know if that's the proper term. I mentioned foreshadow wise several times as we went through these, like, now remember, keep track of your expenses. I wrote them down, but I'm not giving you them. It's however many you guys are able to report to her.
No,
God damn it.
I'll find it.
Well, what obstacles stand in your way from acquiring the other fragments that you're aware of?
A necessary travel through the lawless tumult, if we are to save any time.
That travel will be very difficult without a map through the maelstrom.
Well, then it sounds like that's another thing we shall need.
You guys have a map.
Okay. Wait, a map
you
of
don't,
what?
You don't have to tell her that you do, but I'm letting you know that Lynx is in possession of a map through the tumult to Vitern.
Yes, well,
Yes,
so
in
then
fact,
I let her
am.
know. So then, yeah, I would rather her not know. Like, yeah, I would rather not share that with her immediately. Just say that, like, just say, well, looks like that's one thing we'll need.
Well,
And yes,
you will, in addition to a map, you'll obviously need a powerful ship. Those do not come cheap. If you are able to find one, I may be able to requisition funding to purchase it. But I don't have anything on hand, unfortunately. I don't know much about ships myself, so I'm not sure what class or specifications of vehicle you would need to get through something like that. But that is unimportant at the moment, since we don't have a map in anyway. Something to deal with in the future then. Is that the only remaining lead you have? Is my turn?
anybody else want to speak up while I'm looking for this?
I do want to ask that if we are able to find a ship, do we go back to her to, like, because again, like she was saying, they don't come cheap. So
what she was saying basically is that if you could find someone who's selling one, that she could probably front the money for it so that you can get your hands on it, and yeah, after the fact that she can sort out how that works. But the important part is that you guys get a hold of a thing that will let you continue your job. The whether or not this implies that you would be able to keep the ship after is likely no, but she is part of a secret branch of a very powerful country's political arm, so there are strings that she could probably pull. It sounds like, though, that you guys are going to have to find somebody who is willing to sell a ship and figure out what kind of ship you will need to buy in the first place. And then she is also inquiring, do you have leads on any other fragments aside from the one on Vitern? You don't have to tell her, but you know that there is a shard on Vol in the Corporate Alliance in the possession of Alberic Allied Defense Corporation.
I would just tell her I don't, that way in case there's any way she can help us get there.
It's certainly easier than getting through the tumult, although it will take some fairly serious political maneuvering and a few miracles to get you anywhere near the sorts of buildings on Fall that would have such a peace. I'll see what I can do, but I think that might be beyond my power, as the corporate alliance is in a position of power over the Commonwealth rather than vice versa. So it sounds like you've acquired 2 pieces, have information for another 2, and 2 are still missing, which is good progress. Do you feel that you need to hang on to the fragments that you have already found, or can you turn them over so that they can be stored?
Well, it appears that there's somebody who has taken an interest in us and has been tracking us, and it may not actually be safe to keep the fragments on us.
Who has the fragments? I think actually Tycho has one. So
yeah, I don't have them.
Tycho gives his fragment over. Well, Tycho handed it to someone, and hands it over to her. Is it, maybe it's Korok has the other part? Yep.
I thought it was, because I thought it was the two of them. One whole
Korok has the other piece. He has surrendered that to Renee, who tucks both of them away into some strange container that then seems to disappear from reality as soon as she closes it.
Do you have any concerns or questions? Any requests that you need to make of me, or shall we conclude our business?
Does she know about the weird man? The weird, like, reminded me of the, I don't know, like the wizard. Well, like Mickey the wizard and Mickey, whatever.
Talking about the High Tecton?
Yes, the High Tecton, that's his name. Does she know who that is?
Does not ring a bell or match the description of anything that I'm aware of. I will reach out to my contacts and informants, see if I can gather any intel on that, but off the top of my head, I'm not familiar with that.
Okay.
I will contact you if I get information on that.
All
right, so Renee and Cyric leave. You guys hang around for a little bit to eat the shitty food and refreshments that you were provided with, mostly out of spite. Were you headed back to the office to call it a day?
What's everybody thinking?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So, as you guys are heading back to your offices, you are met on the street corner, or on the way there, outside of the front of the office is what I should be saying. There is an individual hanging out, not like going in, but sort of just like not even really pacing, not quite loitering, almost like they're lost, but not so lost that they're darting their eyes around to try to figure out what's happening. This individual looks up as soon as you guys come into its field of vision, and they look like, well, I'll let the image speak for itself. They have thick gardening gloves on, a mask poorly painted with a smiley face. You can tell that there's a warforged under there who is doing everything in its like power to disguise itself as not a warforge, and it is doing it very poorly. As it sees you, it moves towards you, jerkily waving its arms.
How do you do, fellow organic life forms?
Take a long, hard, judgmental look at this guy as I puff on my cigar.
I step away. I step back. Physical
Are you
step
the ones
backwards.
known as the helping hands?
Maybe. What do you want?
A simple human like me with skin has an inquiry for one known as Lynx.
Lynx steps up and doesn't really say anything, but kind of just presents himself still very judgmentally.
Oh my, what a strange looking creature. Are you some sort of... I've never seen whatever you are before. Ah! If you are indeed Lynx, I would like to offer you a grand opportunity as extended by my employers. Fabulously prizes.
Its speech is sort of fumbling. Like, clearly it knows how to speak common, but it's not doing it very well. The sentences are communicating the ideas, the conjugations, the tense, the participles are dangling. It's just a mess, but it's clear enough that you guys understand what it's saying.
I love this guy so much. Lynx wants to rip his mask off, but he's not going to.
With money, the sky's the limit. If you'd like to know more, Lynx Please join me in my office.
Lynx nods and does so.
I'm afraid that this does not extend to you fine gentlemen.
Uh-oh.
Lynx readies his weapon surreptitiously.
So you guys can, if you want, try to follow them, but if not, that's fine too, and we will.
I'm very, Furios is very off-put by it, and this is like, no, that's Lynx's business, not ours. That's for them to deal with.
So you guys aren't going to be able to see what's going on in this scene, but you will be able to get to enjoy the music. So sorry about that.
I'll enjoy the music. It's
Lynx, this individual is leading you towards the shitty part of town, for lack of a better term. The side of Tenrei closer to the edge where they toss all the garbage off of. The part that has like a trail of refuse kind of floating off in space because of how gravity planes work in this world.
It is a pleasure to meet you. My name is Nix. I'm glad that you're ready to accept such a fabulous opportunity.
Well, nobody said anything about accepting anything yet.
I'm sure that you'll be very pleased to accept once you've heard what we have to say.
Lynx is waiting for them to continue.
You arrive at their office, which is a nasty little, like, corner alley. The floor is damp. The barrels and boxes are rotten. There are trash bags, a very broken vending machine, and a tiny little tent set up.
Welcome to my office. If you wouldn't mind, before we begin, I'd like to check your references. Can you tell me a little bit about your work history?
If you know the helping hands, then certainly you know about me.
You make an excellent point.
And when he says that, you don't hear anything, but you have other senses, and your sense of sight indicates that projectile has been fired wide of your body, but from him towards you, and that is combat starting for the two of you.
You have to understand that this is nothing personal. I'm not allowed back to where I belong until I take care of traitors.
Lynx wants to roll intimidate if I can, to really like get up in this guy's face, yank the mask off, and be like, "Look here, guy."
Sure, yeah, go ahead and roll intimidate. I will grant you that you remove his mask. I don't have an image for it. Just a fairly generic roll insight.
Yeah.
All right.
Not rolling good today.
Fairly generic, but familiar enough for you to be able to tell that this guy probably came from the same manufacturing point of origin as you did.
Okay.
So yeah, you yank his mask off, which does not seem to faze him. It seems that mask was mostly there for his amazing disguise, and now that he's revealed his hand. I will say, though, once you get close up to him, you notice that his clothing... You're someone who occasionally dabbles in entertainment, as in watching or listening to it. It looks like his outfit is a very ragged, ruined, and falling apart show host outfit. You're not sure where, but you've seen some sort of show that someone wearing this was on. You can't recall them being a Warforged, but there is enough of a recollection for that. I will, with your intimidate, I will let you start us off. I'll give him lower initiative on that one. So the first round goes to you.
I think what I'm gonna do Okay, what Lynx is going to want to do is I feel like this guy will probably fall apart as much as I just so much as breathe on him. He doesn't seem to be pretty sturdy here. So I am going to is it in stealth now? There we are. I'm gonna try to sneak up to this guy, put a freaking dagger to his throat, and try rolling intimidate again. Could I do that?
Unfortunately, your stealth was way too low for him to lose sight of you.
Well, in that case, I'm gonna smoke bomb first.
Okay, all right.
If I see that he's already still locked eyes on me, then I'm tossing that puppy out here.
Hell yeah, make it happen.
And now, hopefully, I should be a little more hidden. And then if I can, I forget what you said about the following up on an intimidate, but I do want to like sneak up behind this asshole with a dagger to his throat.
No, you're not going to be able.
No,
You've used action and bonus action on this, so you're out of stuff you can do here. Let's hope that you go first in the next round.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because I really want to get info from this guy. I'm going to. Well, I guess I said I was going to do the poisoning dagger, which isn't going to matter because as Warforged, that is not a thing that we care about particularly. But I want to do the thing where I'm like holding off all the way. I'm going to like try to slit his throat, but being a Warforged myself, knowing where to cause damage, but not to totally fuck him up.
Right. Yeah, non-lethal damage.
Yes.
It makes a horrible grinding noise of metal on metal as you drag it across him. Actually, it does no such thing. You used your action for the smoke bomb.
All right, I do what I was going to do last time, and let's go for that horrible screeching noise again.
Okay. Wait, I thought Warforged were immune to poison.
They're not immune to daggers. I haven't...
I just don't know why he got poisoned.
Oh.
Well, okay, yeah, no, he takes the damage, but is not the poison status.
Right.
Boom, got him.
I sneak again, and get a little bit further away from him, and to the best of my ability, try to sort of throw my voice and be all, are we going to try this again, or are we going to keep going, or are you going to listen to reason or whatever? I'm trying to think of something quippy, but I can't come up with it, but I'm sure it was very cool when Link said it.
Roll for cool guy.
Raw charisma.
Yeah, go for it. Raw charisma. Nah, don't worry about it.
Hell yeah, I was just kidding, but sure. The one time I roll super high.
So you say a cool guy line, and he's
like, our interview hasn't concluded yet.
Man,
you could still be our next big winner.
Falls to the ground, and then sits right back up.
It looks like you are the big shot that I am looking for. Truth be told, I would have been fine either way. Killing you would have secured my readmittance to, the Briargrove Syndicate.
I asked him what the fuck he just said because I'm familiar with that.
Well, he hasn't finished saying it yet, but...
Readmittance to the Briargrove Syndicate, but seeing as how you are as skilled as you were rumored to be, perhaps you can just take it over for me.
He tosses you this thing.
I do, but I also want to, I want to restrain this guy and take his weapons and stuff. If I can.
So he explains. What was your question again?
Basically just what the fuck did you just say in regard... Oh, what Tucker was asking. He wants me to take his place in the Briar...
You have to understand that I was dismissed from my position there. Once Tholdor came back, he started tearing through all the ranks of ineffective models. You and I are both -N models, so he had something out for us after you killed him. He's really mad at you. But you're back. I was unable to kill you, so you really are as powerful as we were told. Do you think that you have what it takes to be a big shot and take out Tholdor again?
Yeah, I'm gonna fuck this guy up. and I'm like just shaking him by the collar the whole time, and then like throwing him down and pacing around, and then picking him back up again and shaking as we're having this discussion.
So he is very ragdolly. He looks like he has fallen into a state of great disrepair, insofar as that he is a vagrant that has been living in this tiny location in the back alley of Tenrei in the bad part of town for what seems to be a long enough period of time that his body is starting to unrepair itself. But yeah, so slamming him around or whatever, it doesn't seem to like bother him. He just kind of like limply flails around it feels like you're shaking a broken doll. So you pace around, slam him, shake him, slam him. Do you have any further information that you're asking him for?
So, okay, I like kind of pinch the bridge of my nose, like I can't believe I'm fucking doing this. But Lynx feels very strongly about, like fuck slavery, and especially like of Warforged. So I want to actually offer him, like, look, I fucking hate that guy. You know that I'm stronger than him. Be on our side, essentially. And it's probably the only way that you'll live.
Why be on your side when we could both be on each other's side? It sounds like you're trying to recruit me, but I'm trying to recruit you. So let's recruit each other.
Lynx, like, just kind of it shakes his head off, trying to make sense of that, and says, sure.
I apologize if I'm irritating. I'm not actually this excited at all. It's just the only setting I have left on my voice.
Never change. Lynx doesn't say that, but
I like it.
I love him.
So yeah, he would be more than happy to work at the Helping Hands. You guys do need like a secretary.
Awesome.
He explains just real quick. Essentially, he is explaining to you that Tholdor, Palpatine somehow returned, and has set up shop on Behance, just outside of the Corporate Alliance. It is
pretty.
It is space Las Vegas, essentially. Like, it is a planet filled with vice. Tholdor has become... Yeah, well, he hasn't become. He just went right back to what he was doing before, only now he's in, like, the, I guess, gambling and racketeering market.
I'm gonna kill that guy again.
He was kicked out for essentially failing in his duties as hitman / game show host.
Which is a lot harder than you'd think it sounds. Both killing someone and performing on stage every night.
But yeah, so he was disgraced, discarded, and told essentially, catch the Avatar and you can return. With the knowledge that he's not going to do that. And so he was basically just sent off because they didn't feel like disposing of the body.
Okay, cool.
And that is where we will end our session for today.
Oh my lord.
What will happen? What will become of our heroes? What about this strange new masked, unmasked friends? And all of the strangeness going on with Vorivial? And what happened rolling back in time with Tycho during all of this? Find out on the next exciting episode of the Tales from Tenrei, which will be like, subscribe, comment, donate. Looking at all of you.